Welcome to It Factor, the vlogcast that uncovers the it that makes companies stand out in the IT-BPM industry. In this episode, we are joined by EY Global Delivery Services with Raymond Go, the EY GDS Philippines Consulting Leader. EY GDS was also the recipient of the 2025 Technology Company of the Year at last year's Solaya. So what's EY GDS's it? Let's find out.
Let's welcome Mon Go, EY's GDS Philippines Consulting Leader, to It Factor. Welcome to the show, Mon.
Thank you, Jack. It's definitely an honor and pleasure to be a part of the It Factor of IBPAP.
A pleasure to have you. And before we go into the our conversation, I just wanted to congratulate you and Dench again on being Technology Company of the Year, winning the IT-BPM Awards Solaya Award.
Thank you, Jack. Really proud moment for EYGDS to be honored by the Solaya Award. We really wanted to win that award. We knew we are doing a lot of impact to the community, to our clients, and just getting the award also gives us that validation that we are on the right track. So thank you. We shared that award to all of our team members also.
Excellent. And always happy that you proudly display it in your lobby, and now we have it right here on the It Factor. So that's really awesome.
Yep. There's room for more, Jack.
Well, you're defending the award this June, but the topic for today will revolve around how technology is transforming the way we work, the implications on the skills that our workforce will need, and the new work types that the IT-BPM industry, will be delivering towards for our global customers. So, with that as context, I wanted to ask you as my first question, Mon. Given your rich background in delivery and solutioning and large-scale transformation, what are some of the specific capabilities that you want to encourage Filipino consulting and technology professionals to develop so that we can continue to thrive in an AI-enabled environment?
So Jack, that's a really good question to start. I would say how the coming of age of AI presents a real challenge and at the same time, opportunities for Filipino talents. Time and time again, we have proven our ability to adapt, to deliver value, and to also build new strengths that has allowed us to keep on growing. So for some, developing AI skills can actually sound intimidating. But I would say that should not be the case. And really, depending on our roles, there are varying level of depth in terms of proficiency that we should build. Not everyone needs to be an AI expert, right? You can be an enthusiast, someone who can converse reasonably well, or a beginner who, uses AI to augment one's work. Or where we also would like a lot of our people to develop into is to become an expert, someone who trains models, develop models, who builds AI, responsible AI frameworks and use it for your work. The other point is that, it's important that we recognize that in this world of AI, having just one specialized skill won't just cut it anymore. In the past, you can be, let's say, only be very highly technical but not have a good business process, skills, domain skills, or the other way around. But in this AI age, it won't cut it anymore. So I would say there are a couple of skills that one needs to have. First is really around data and AI fluency. This means understanding how AI models work conceptually, what makes data reliable, how bias can emerge, how AI tools should be governed responsibly. So AI fluency should become as fundamental as digital literacy was a decade ago. Second is to have really deep business and industry understanding or expertise. So AI only creates real value when it solves real problems. So, as professionals, we should strengthen our domain knowledge, whether in banking, healthcare, government, and really understand the end to end business processes. And this is where the Philippines, having such a huge BPM capability, actually is in a very good position to leverage it. Third is the human centered transformation capability. We know AI transformations serve a purpose, and that purpose will only come into life if it's adopted. So Filipino professionals actually have a very strong advantage here. We are, we are very good with empathy. We have strong service orientation.
Mhm.
We are very good at collaborating. So such skills are also very important. And last is to just piece all of that together. So having a good understanding of systems and architecture allows us to understand how all of this comes together. So for Filipino talents, if we're able to combine all of this, we will not just participate in this AI transformation. We have the opportunity to lead it.
Well, that was a very comprehensive answer, Mon, no? And I got a lot out of the way you replied there. Success in an AI-driven world will really lie at the intersection of technology and the requisite domain skills that you mentioned. Whatever your field of interest is, we need to be better at it.
Mhm.
Let's be better in accounting. Let's be
Yes.
better in banking, in analytics, and in healthcare, and of course the digital fluency that you also mentioned. But I also like the fact that you believe that even in an AI world, the human will still be, at the core
Yes.
of it all. And never before has it been more important to have the judgment, decision making, and you mentioned, what the Filipinos are the best in the world at, which is our empathy
Mhm.
as we solve the world's problems. So, AI is fundamentally reshaping professional services all over. So, but at a macro level, how is EYGDS shaping itself to remain competitive where, stakeholders now expect AI-enabled transformation that is embedded across strategy, across operations, and technology?
So Jack, we feel this, and the intensity of this we feel every day. And by now, most companies would actually have put AI as a key strategic priority. For us at EYGDS, we have been making massive investments around how we develop our talents with deep AI skills, around how we actually build AI agents, assets, accelerators, an AI platform that we use for our own selves and also for our clients. Also, we have deep partnerships with AI focused companies that we leverage and we take to our clients. So, AI is definitely embedded in our strategy, in our solutions, in our teams. And a big part of that is also ensuring that the responsible AI framework is there so that our clients, our teams can trust us and it's secure. So we use AI. So if I can cite a couple of examples. So we use AI obviously in terms of how we transform how we operate. So we use AI on our own businesses, how we run our business every day. So in the hire to retire process, how we use AI to, let's say, automate, improve accuracy in terms of how we match demand and supply of our talents. Another area where we use AI is in terms of how we transform, how we deliver our work to our customers. So we call that as service delivery transformation. We have built a growing list of governed library of assets, accelerators, platform solutions, agents, and these are all built in the secure EY environment so that our people can access it and they can scale it. So I can go on, but basically this library is vetted, secure, has a lot of accelerators, and brings with it what we call as AI ontologies as well. This is where the business context also comes in. And like
Mhm.
what I mentioned earlier, the business part makes AI really of value. That's what brings value. One example I'd like to share is in our cyber secure operations center, which I'd like to show you in a bit. So we use AI to perform what we call as level 1 and level 2 functions. So what this means is that from threat detection to response, AI agents are deployed, and this allows us to help our clients detect a threat in a minute, be able to investigate in 10 minutes, and be able to remediate it quickly in 60 minutes. So that protects our clients, that makes them secure. Um, Another example is I've seen how we use AI to develop codes. So it's whether in the context of big enterprise platforms like SAP or ServiceNow, we have used the native AI capabilities, but also in terms of how we use it to build custom codes. So the initial codes are already being generated by AI, and this allows us to significantly improve development times, improve accuracy. So those are some of the examples that we, have not only built from a solution standpoint, but also from a delivery standpoint. So I can say this part is really exciting as we see more and more how AI is not only on paper, but how it's really an integral part of our solution and in terms of how we deliver, but also how we govern our
Mm.
engagements.
Great to hear how EY GDS has successfully implemented your AI proofs of concept uh, and pilots and trials. But can you explain to our listeners, Mon, how 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 is AI actually being integrated across EYGDS today? Not just as a productivity enhancer, but actually as a core
Mm-hmm.
capability, shaping, consulting, methodology, solution design, and you mentioned governance,
Yep.
and achieving stakeholder outcomes.
Obviously, everyone is talking about how AI is integrated into what they do, but the reality is it's not a one-off initiative. It's a journey, and it's a journey that we see really accelerating very quickly. So for us at EYGDS, we're embedding AI where it's relevant in how we design our solutions, how we deliver our work, and how we govern our engagements. In solution design, so we we approach the design, the solutions with AI in mind. It's not an afterthought. It's definitely incorporated the functionalities. We look at, what platforms to bring, what models should we use, what is the implication from an architecture standpoint. We look at the benefits. There's also risk involved. There's also a cost element to it. There's also a maturity element to it. So basically, AI is foundational and is actually an expectation of our clients in terms of how we come up with our solution. Second is how we deliver. So we're really starting to see real meaningful productivity gains and quality gains as well. So AI is helping our teams analyze large volumes of client data more efficiently, particularly in areas like in audit, in assurance. It's supporting initial code generation in technology engagements. In cybersecurity, I mentioned it's enhancing how we detect, how we diagnose, how we respond to threats. So these are no longer theoretical use cases, right? They are practical applications that are getting more and more adopted and
Mhm.
also improving as we use it more and more. Perhaps what's the most important of all of this is the governance layer. So with AI, trust is a big enabler and also, let's say, a showstopper, right? So it's a non-negotiable. So we ensure that AI is deployed and is part of the design. AI security is deployed in a secure environment with clear guidance on which models we use. We also leverage structured business ontologies, like what I mentioned earlier, which reduces hallucinations and improves the relevance of the results. And this space is evolving at remarkable speed. What feels advanced today will likely be baseline tomorrow. That's why we see AI integration is not a trend, but as a continuous transformation, one that requires capability building, strong governance, and really deliberate leadership to ensure it strengthens rather than disrupts.
This journey of EYGDS was really quite an impressive transformation, right? You have grown to over 1,600 professionals within 3 years. That's a pretty impressive achievement. Now, can you explain how you and senior management align culture, align talent strategy, and capability building to support that kind of pace in acceleration of EY's expansion?
Jack, I count myself as very fortunate and at the same time very proud of the tremendous growth that we've seen with our teams. And really, it's again a reflection of the leaders that we have and the people that we have. And again, I'm just very honored to be leading this team as well. Growing rapidly, especially in a very tough environment, has definitely been exciting. We're proud to be able to also support the thrust of IBPAP to provide high quality employment to the Filipinos through our world class capabilities. For me, I've always been mindful that growth should not, just be growth from a headcount perspective. Growth should be measured in terms of our value and the impact that we bring to our clients, and of course to the firm, to EY, but also the impact that we bring to our talents and most importantly to our country. So really we anchor our growth on our purpose, which is to build a better working world. Being clear with this helps us to really sustain this growth. We're very mindful and intentional of the culture that we have and the risk of dilution as we grow. We want to make sure that the people we bring in, they share the same values on integrity, on teaming, on inclusiveness, among many others. So once someone joins us, we spend a lot of time in enabling and educating them about our culture, which is really our purpose, our values, and the behaviors we can expect from them and from others as well. Then they get to immerse in imbibing our culture of client focus, delivery excellence, learning, people empathy, and social responsibility. So through this, we know that we have a solid base to allow us to keep on growing and making lasting impact amidst all of the constant disruptions and new business environments that we face.
Yeah, it's a very strong foundation, and you talked about the importance of culture in EYGDS. I also like, how you describe the evolution of our industry, Mon. As we shift from being primarily a labor arbitrage, situation to what I see as more a capability arbitrage. But having said that, there is still persistent concern about AI displacing jobs. Now, how would you frame the relationship between agentic AI and Filipino talent? And how can enterprises get ready to ensure that AI augments rather than diminish human capabilities?
Jack, this probably is the most discussed topic in relation to our industry. And I would say it's valid because it definitely has a clear impact to livelihood, to our people, to our country. So what's clear is that the pace of development slash disruption of AI has accelerated even more. We've seen how the use of AI over the, let's say, 2, 3 years, has quickly moved from just being chatbots to Gen AI. And now we see a lot of agentic AIs as well. And new models, they come up, new use cases of AI also are being launched. Just in the past week, we've seen how the market also reacted with AI fears. And again, all of this discussion around the threat to jobs. So this is a real topic. And we need to frame this question also in a better way, right? So AI will definitely displace some old jobs, no question about it. But it will create new jobs. And for the most part, it will reshape traditional jobs. So I would say the more constructive framing of this is AI will not replace Filipino talents, but Filipino talents empowered by AI will outperform those who are not ready for this. And I go back to what I said earlier. Historically, the Philippine services industry has been very resilient. So we've evolved from, just being voice-based services to knowledge process outsourcing, and then recently to become a major player in digital transformation. So I would like to look at it as AI represents the next evolution of our industry. So this is not the end. And we know what AI does well, right? It handles repetitive, rules-based work exceptionally well. But what it cannot do, at least for now, is do good judgment, exhibit empathy, to have good contextual understanding, build client trust. All of these are areas where Filipinos really, really excel. So the responsibility also lies with us, leaders of this industry. We must look at how roles are being redesigned rather than just see it get eliminated. Our teams should really reskill and leverage AI in their daily work so that we bring more compelling value. If approached intentionally, AI can actually elevate Filipino professionals up the value chain. So from executing tasks to generating insights and being strategic advisors to, let's say, to our clients or for our GCCs to the firms that they represent. So the goal should really be augmentation, not replacement. So I really believe that, as we evolve and adapt, which we've done a lot in the past, we will lead, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done and we need to do it fast.
So, in a nutshell, Mon, what you're saying is it's not man versus machine. It is man with a machine. So, moving on, as consulting leader for EY GDS Philippines, what has been your stewardship, in this transition? And what deliberate leadership decisions have you had to make to ensure that AI adoption strengthens the organization's capabilities while maintaining quality and stakeholder trust?
So that's a very important question, Jack, because AI adoption is not just about tech. It's also about leadership discipline, leadership drive. So in large organizations such as ours, adopting AI in a way that strengthens capability while maintaining quality and trust requires deliberate choices. So first, very important is we really have to focus on building a learning culture. So AI just evolves so much. There's so much development. So we have to keep on learning. So what we've done is we've implemented role-based training tailored to different roles. So there's a different training program for developers, different programs for testers, for audit professionals, for cybersecurity professionals. So it's meant to be very relevant. It's meant to be tailored to our talents. So we've also created reusable prompts. So these prompts are in libraries, and it allows us to reuse and be able to access them as well. Another area where we've done is we formed what we call as internal AI champions. So it's a community, and the intention is to use this community to encourage people to learn, to adapt, and seek help as well. Second is we also, need to make learning AI fun and interesting. So we've been very creative in our approach. We have a very comprehensive approach, such as running AI academies, running regular webinars, having learning badges. So we kind of gamify it. We do a lot of certifications, even in this area where we're sitting right now. So we hold competitions. We call it quiz wars, where teams gather and do some trivia and win some fun prizes as well. So we have to be very creative in our approach so that people get interested and find value in learning and upskilling with AI. As far as adoption in our work, we are very intentional about this as well. So we look at where is the high volume area? What are the repeatable use cases, such as, let's say, in documentation, in coding, testing, in customer interactions. And it's not only POCs. We make sure that we measure how effective it has been. And we also report it back to our clients, to our leadership, so that we continue to build stakeholder confidence. So what's important is we also made it clear that AI assists, but our teams remain accountable for the outcomes. So that is the balance that is preserved, where the delivery standards, outcomes, and the client trust is enforced. So lastly, on this topic, we also make sure that we recognize people who have put in the efforts to upskill, to adopt AI. So we give them a differentiated, let's say, incentives, recognitions, and some like even a totally new career path to approach.
You know, I really enjoyed listening to what you said about the importance of this culture of learning. No, I have no doubt that the 1,600 professionals in EYGDS, work a full day, but having to also take time and commit to this learning process is also very important. How do you how do you instill that discipline and commitment, Mon, for your employees to take even more time to learn and upskill and reskill?
Definitely, one is really educating them about the imperative of this. It's not optional. It's not a choice
Yes,
that,
yes, yes.
I feel like doing this or I don't feel like doing this. What's at stake here is clear. It's the future of their jobs. It's the future of this organization. It's the future of this industry. So that alone gives them a clear view of why it is very critical for them to upskill, despite, let's say, being very busy. On the other hand, like what I shared, so keeping it fun, keeping it interesting, keeping it relevant
Mm-hmm.
allows our teams to, let's say, extend a little bit more if needed and just put in that investment for their own selves. And the third is we also allocate time purposely. We allocate time for people to take this training in a very structured, programmatic way. And we track, completion of this training, not just as a tick in the box kind of an activity, but really to make sure that we bring people's skills up the value chain as well.
Great answer. Mon, you've been a very active member of IBPAP's Tech and AI Council. Now, tell our listeners how you are advocating for AI as a national opportunity, and what should leaders of other IBPAP member companies do to further grow and support, the rise of Filipino tech talent?
So, as leaders of this industry, such a critical industry that contributes so much to our economy, we definitely have a very, very critical role to play in ensuring our readiness and competitiveness amidst all of the disruptions and opportunities that AI bring. We have to understand the nature of our services and the strengths that come with them. We're probably not going to be a major player, let's say, on the physical AI or in the hardware chip side of this, but
Mm.
we are definitely a services powerhouse. That means that we have access to extensive business processes and data of our clients, of governments, of our people. We should leverage that. Our technology capabilities have also grown and matured over the past decades. So, first, we need to take mass reskilling at scale really seriously. We must continue investing in training within our own organizations and also deepen the partnerships that we have with universities. Last year, IBPAP successfully ran the inaugural and highly successful Can You Hack It hackathon in Cebu. This year, we will expand it and we are looking forward to a much bigger event,
Wow.
even across multiple cities in the country. So, this is one way wherein we can get more and more in the community to upskill. We should also continue collaborating with AI and data focused training companies that are rapidly emerging and they have been producing really highly upskilled and reskilled, multi skilled talents. So that's an opportunity for us as well. Third is, I know there's a lot of, different reskilling, national reskilling programs. So that one, we should support that as it comes along. And it will be key to ensuring alignment and minimizing duplication of efforts. The other part for us as leaders, we definitely need to aspire to move up the value chain. So from, we should not be satisfied with doing traditional services within our own companies, right? We need to move up to, let's say, an AI enabled analytics. We need to do more intelligent operations. We need to do more transformational work using AI. And this area is a great opportunity to use AI and technology to really elevate us from being a delivery engine to becoming strategic value creators for
Mhm.
our companies. So we must demonstrate that we are leading transformations and not simply just being subjected to it. Of course, this is not easy to be fair, right? But as leaders, we have to proactively signal and demonstrate to our leadership, to our global stakeholders, that we are very much ready and that we are highly capable. And of course, it always go back to trust. So we need to strengthen our regulatory and cybersecurity frameworks within our own companies and also in our country, right? So we should be seen as responsible users of AI who will not put organizations, governments, or clients at risk. So clearly, there is so much more to be done. But if we leverage our strengths strategically, we have a real opportunity to reach the next level of, let's say, Philippines IT-BPM value and competitiveness.
Such a brilliant answer, Mon, and certainly proving why EY is the technology company of the year. So thank you very much for that, and also thank you for your support in 2025 for our inaugural Can You Hack It campaign. No, we couldn't have done it without the support of EY and our other partners. Um, Now, I have an additional question on talent. What other programs do you have with universities? And what role do you see the academe playing in talent development? Are curriculum changes needed? Do we need more comprehensive internship programs, for example? So how is EY contributing in this whole landscape?
So one of the themes that often come up when it comes to, let's say, the readiness of our graduates is the skills gap between what the academe produces and what the industry really needs. So while the academe tries its very best to build the right, let's say, foundational skills for our university graduates, the industry actually plays a big part in augmenting it and making it really relevant for real work in the industry. So for us at EYGDS, developing future talents, making them ready, making them truly world class is at the heart of what we do. Fundamentally, we are a people business. We deliver with the talents that we have. So for the past 10 years that EYGDS has been here, we have partnered very closely with various universities, both in Manila and also in Cebu. So some of the key highlights that I wanted to share. So one is we run what we call as academia programs, where we teach third year, fourth year students for one full semester as their elective. What we do is we assign experts from our teams to lead these programs. So some example of these are classes in ServiceNow, classes in cybersecurity, classes in risk consulting. And what we do is, especially these days, we incorporate relevant AI topics into these classes. So in the past 2 years alone, we've collectively taught over 500 students from the different partner universities. So these are students from Cebu Institute of Technology, where we taught classes for ServiceNow and cybersecurity, and recently with Far Eastern University, or FEU, for risk consulting.
Mm.
We spent a lot of time and effort on this, and we also thank our partner universities for recognizing this and really doing this for their students. But we also augment them with actual real life experience. So we take interns from these universities. And the idea is we want to match the conceptual learning by providing them real world, real life experiences where they can apply the knowledge that they have acquired and experience what real client work is like. So as we go through this process, we're able to, you know, equip them with solid industry relevant skills that makes them really ready and competitive. And, as they enter the workforce, they're also much, much more confident. So we're very proud of our partnerships with these universities. We've found the quality of the students are just top notch. And the collective effort from everyone involved has truly been worth it. And I would say doing that allows us to sustain the growth of this industry.
Fabulous. I just couldn't be more impressed with all the things that EYGDS does to strengthen and promote the Filipino talent. Now, as we wrap up, this episode of It Factor, Mon, I know that you're celebrating 10 years in the Philippines. So I wanted to ask you what message best captures the impact of EYGDS to our IT-BPM ecosystem and to the Philippines. And what excites you most about the next decade, for EYGDS in the country?
So definitely a very important year for us being here for the past 10 years. It feels like we have been here much longer. But just looking back, starting with just 25 team members, EYGDS has grown significantly to over 6,000 talents across both of our centers here in Manila and also in Cebu. We have stayed true to our purpose of building a better working world, delivering long-term value to our clients, to EY. Equally important for the thousands of professionals who have built their careers and experienced an exceptional EY journey. And of course, for the community that we are a part of, which is the Philippines. So looking ahead, I'm extremely proud of our impact to this industry, to this community. But I'm also excited about how we can continue to amplify our impact by shaping the future with confidence for our clients as they navigate, very complex and challenging times where we are in now. We will continue to deliver best-in-class solutions, world-class capabilities, work that is tech-enabled, tech and AI-led, and human-centered, right? And grounded in trust. So we will also amplify the experience of our employees, of our talents. We remain committed to being an employer of choice for both young and experienced professionals where their careers will be enhanced and enriched as they join and they stay with us. We're also very excited about the opening of our new Cebu office in the middle of this year. So, apart from being a great physical space, it provides us with another world-class facility to showcase our capabilities and give the world the opportunity to experience the excellence of Filipino talents. Of course, we look to deepen our role in this industry in IBPAP. We really thank you, Jack, and the entire IBPAP team for fostering such a strong ecosystem that enables all of us to thrive, to contribute, and elevate the IT-BPM industry of the Philippines. Through this, we are able to deliver value. We're able to really elevate our competitiveness even further. There's so much to look forward to in the next 10 years and beyond, and I'm very excited.
Well, thank you very much for saying that, Mon. Our industry success is really a collective effort of the entire ecosystem, and being a very engaged platinum partner of IBPAP. The team and I couldn't be any prouder of the work that we do together. We've come a long way, and we also look forward to the next decade for EY in the Philippines. I've really enjoyed our conversation. One, thank you to you and to Dench and the entire EY GDS Philippines team.
Likewise, Jack. It's a pleasure having you here. All the best to us.
And that's it for today with It Factor. Thank you for tuning in with us. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow and subscribe to IBPAP on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. Catch the next episode on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Till next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep finding the it that sets you apart.